Usually when we pick out a show to binge, there's a logical reason, right? Like you want to laugh, you queue up a comedy, you want suspense, you find a thriller. It's very transactional.
Right, yeah. But if you look at our actual streaming habits, that logic just completely vanishes. I mean, you will sit through 10 hours of a show where you barely care about the plot, purely to listen to the dialogue.
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely done it.
We all have. So we're doing a deep dive today into a stack of linguistic and psychological research on this global obsession with British accents. And our mission here is to figure out exactly why these specific voices have such an intense hold on you.
Yeah, because you've probably put on a British drama just to hear them talk. But, before unpacking the why, we really have to clear up a massive misconception. We casually talk about the British accent, like singular.
Which is the first trap right there. There is rarely just one accent. What we are actually looking at is this massive, dense linguistic spectrum. I mean, the UK actually possesses some of the highest linguistic diversity per square mile in the entire world.
Wait, really? The entire world?
Yeah, it's incredibly dense. So to call it one accent is just completely false.
Okay, so let's unpack this. If there are so many vastly different dialects, why does American pop culture usually fixate on just a few? Like if the UK isn't just playing a single instrument, what are the different sections of the orchestra we're actually hearing?
Well, we can sort of categorize this amazing diversity into three distinct tiers based on, the psychological triggers they evoke in the listener. So the first is the prestige factor. This is received pronunciation, often called RP.
Right, okay, that's the news anchor voice, or like the royal family
Yeah.
voice. But is that actually a natural regional accent, or was it, engineered?
Oh, it was highly engineered. Historically, RP was cultivated in elite boarding schools and then later mandated by the early BBC to sound deliberately distinct from the working class.
Wow. So it was literally designed to sound upper class.
Exactly. That's why it instantly evokes intelligence and authority to your ear. It was built to do that. But then you have the second tier, which is musicality.
Okay, so we're talking of dialects like Geordie from Newcastle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or multicultural London English, MLE.
Yes, exactly. And they have this distinct bouncy, rhythmic quality to them. The intonation goes up and down really rapidly.
Oh, right. It has that melody, too.
Yeah, it takes a casual, everyday conversation and just injects it with a high level of kinetic energy. It's really fun to listen to.
I see. And then the third group is that rough around the edges charm, like Cockney or the Mancunian dialect from Manchester.
Right, and here the mechanism is actually phonetic. Speakers of these dialects often use glottal stops, meaning they drop the T in words like water or better.
So instead of water, it's like water.
Spot on. And to your brain, skipping those crisp, formal consonant sounds feels less rigid, right? It feels more rebellious and deeply authentic.
Oh, that makes total sense. It's like an auditory shortcut to cool.
Exactly. It's heavily exported by global music and film icons to give off that exact vibe.
Okay, so casting directors clearly have this whole palette of voices.
Yeah.
The engineered prestige, the energetic rhythm, the rebellious grit. But why is our brain so deeply drawn to this specific palette?
Well, psychologists point to the Goldilocks zone of familiarity. Because it is English, you understand it perfectly. Your brain doesn't have to work too hard to decode the basic meaning.
Right, you're not reading subtitles.
Exactly. But the distinct cadence and those unique word choices are just different enough to feel exotic. It sits right in that psychological sweet spot that just keeps you hooked.
Hold on, though. If it's just about being familiar but exotic, wouldn't like an Australian or South African accent trigger the exact same response? Why does the UK get this special pedestal?
Ah, that brings us to the pop culture loop. We haven't just stumbled into this preference, We have been actively conditioned. Streaming services have realized that these specific UK dialects are incredibly efficient psychological shortcuts.
Oh, so they're exploiting the data to cast archetypes.
They absolutely are. I mean, you put on The Great British Bake Off, and those soft, rhythmic voices instantly signal pure comfort to your brain.
Yeah, basically a warm blanket in audio form.
Exactly. But then you switch to a high-stakes drama like Peaky Blinders, and that gritty Birmingham dialect does the heavy lifting. It establishes danger and style before a character even finishes their sentence.
Wow. So pop culture trains us to associate the accent with a vibe, then serves us more of it because it reliably works.
Yes, it's a feedback loop. So your fascination with British accents is definitely not an accident.
It's a highly potent mix of phonetic engineering, that psychological sweet spot of being familiar yet exotic, and relentless pop culture conditioning.
Precisely. So the next time you watch a movie, pay close attention to the specific UK dialects of the villains versus the heroes.
Like, are they using the crisp, engineered T's of RP or the rebellious glottal stops of Cockney?
Yeah, and ask yourself how much of your trust or your suspicion is based on the character's actual actions on screen, and how much is just your brain reacting to the hidden linguistic history we discussed today.
That is fascinating because you really aren't just watching a show. You're being played by a very carefully conducted orchestra.